Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Advancement Center, and thank you for joining me up here on the elevated platform of living, where your music and your world of magic and miracles live. It's the place where your perspective of everything is at a much higher vibration. Now, as we all know, today is known as Remembrance Day, and the date 11/11/2018 numerologically, pardon me, adds up to 11, 11, 11. And this is the doorway to new dimensions because 11 is the doorway. And today we will explore those new dimensions. I call out to everyone as family, our family. By now, you must realize the importance of your presence as the charter members of this emerging industry of magic and miracles. And as charter members with firsthand information, we cannot help but be the bearer of good news and good times that are definitely coming via Swisindo and so much more. As a diplomat of the UN Swisindo multinational organization, I am here every week to unveil the financial freedom that we all have known about and bring it into the physical. Now, Swisindo has been the finest vehicle for me to take care of our universal family. Swisindo will provide all basic needs to everyone on the planet. And I've said this many times before, but you never know. We may have someone brand new on the broadcast today. So I'm going to show you when you go to swisindo.news, you can't miss it. It's right there in front of you. Download the M1 voucher. And I'll tell you what this is all about, but I'm sure you can tell me by now that this means all the basic needs of every man, woman, and child on the planet will have $1,200 a month for life. And a child of school age up to the age of 17 will get $600 per month until they're 17, and then they get the adult amount. So this is the M1 voucher. Okay. Now, here's a square where you put a passport picture or something that's going to fit right there and attach it with Gorilla Glue and put your thumbprint, I can't thumbprint there, and put it in a safe place. And stay in touch, and I'll tell you when you can take this to the bank. We have a little work to do with the banks first. Okay. Now you go down a little bit further. You go down further on that website until you come to the DBLC, or the Debt Burden Relief Certificate. And that looks like this. Now, this takes a little bit of explanation. Okay. Well, to start with, every debt you incurred before 2016 has been taken care of. You don't have to pay it back. Sounds wild, doesn't it? Okay. I'll explain this. The minute you were born, you got a Social Security number, and you have monies allotted to you, and that money has been borrowed against time and time again by all kinds of factions. And every time you went to the bank to borrow money, you paid it back dutifully, plus interest. You have paid your debts. So download it, keep it in a safe place. And as a matter of fact, Susan Terry, the Secretary General of our ministry, said that you could write a letter, not you, me, I should write a letter to the bank explaining exactly what this is. And it would make a lot of sense for the bank to say, I'm interested. Because banks don't have any money. It's all fiat, it's all digital. And if they agree to this debt burden relief certificate, they will be making money and receiving money from Swisindo. But we'll wait for them to wake up a little bit more. Now, the most amazing thing about this Swisindo is we've been fed so much information that it is almost exhausting trying to ferret out what's true, what's made up, what's a little off, and what's definitely fake. So the platform that has been created by UN Swisindo is the opening of the new way that we will walk into the future with transparency and searchable knowledge for all those who are seeking safety and security. We are being shown a model from Indonesia, and this platform is being created while Honorable Bapak, or as we've been calling him, M1, is in the safe and protected place at this time. Honorable Bapak works full-time no matter where he is. This will definitely show all of us who have ever wondered about him and his ability and architecture and what he has created and holds. He's unstoppable in his efforts and is moving the mission forward. And I've told you this before, but I think it's time again to tell you that the Advancement Center has taken an active role. And we were one of the thousands of letters that were submitted and will be read at the trial. And I read as follows. And I haven't mastered his name yet. And I know it doesn't say Dear M1, but yeah. We note that action has been taken to cease the mandated process of UN Swisindo's humanitarian efforts. The Advancement Center and Robert Young have brought forth the original vision that we are all radiant beings in harmony with the overwhelming desires of each and every person. The UN Swisindo mandate of bringing a balancing to the financial needs of all society is in total agreement with the policies of the Advancement Center. Our purpose is to advance humanity in all areas, including finance, human resources, energy systems, and many more. Our numerous associates throughout the world join with us in encouraging the continuation of the UN Swisindo Payment 1 through 11 program. We trust the appropriate authorities will address and correct the present situation in our name. Yours sincerely, Barbara Whiting, Managing Director of Robert A. Young and Associates. So we're not just relating something, we're telling you something that we have endorsed. Thank you. So I've told you about that. And of course, M1 calls this God's mission, known as a mandate to free and unite the 7.5 billion people throughout the planet with his payment 1 through 11. And he's not only going to be keeping us supported, he's also going to support corporations with their debt burden liberation, and countries, and the numbers are so vast, and banks. And then the most exciting thing that he's involved in is the Venus Project for the construction of the universe. Mr. Jacques Fresco is the mastermind of this magnificent project, which represents the culmination of his life's work, the integration of the best of science and technology within a comprehensive plan for a global society based on human and environmental concern will soon be ours to enjoy. So just know and keep it in the forefront of your knowingness that this is going to happen. And of course, the sooner the better. Yeah. M1 is the single trustee and holder of the global assets and collateral accounts. He has engaged in this mission to return to humanity what was stolen from us: freedom, prosperity, and equality for all nations and people of the planet through payments order 1 through 11. Okay. Now here's a question that I don't think anyone has ever posed before we put these broadcasts on air. Has the United Nations fulfilled its purpose and goals? Mm-hmm. It has been 70 years since United Nations was founded, but we still have wars that are being created by corrupt leaders to benefit themselves and banking cartels, which destroy world peace. We still have hunger that comes from the lack of protection from tyrannical and greedy governments. We still have governments and banks that create more lack in their people by robbing them through the monetary slavery system and unnecessary taxes. To date, it seems that the UN needs a lot of help to bring us, the people, closer to the solution: world peace. Now, M1 is committed to serving humanity for peace and prosperity, and he would like to offer support to all countries in these difficult times. He therefore invites you, the people of all countries, to join us in this new world agreement so you may benefit from the programs. It is time to live in peace, love, prosperity, and harmony as one big family. Return to the people the life that is divinely intended for the highest good of all. I'm reading this simply because I was attracted to this statement by Einstein. He was writing about a single world government at the time, and he wrote, "I do not know how the Third World War will be fought, but I can tell you what they will use in the fourth: sticks and stones." Albert Einstein described a chaotic capitalist society, a source of evil to be overcome, as the predatory phase of human development. We are at the final stage of that phase of human development, and we are at the brink of the next phase, the new earth, where all kingdoms, including human, animal, plant, and mineral, live on the planet in harmony and respect under divine law, where all are one. Blessings be. So you can see it's really no surprise when searching for truths, we find that our history books and much internet information is strangely altered or missing true and factual occurrences. Sorry. Okay. So we're on course for good things to be happening. And there will be a peace treaty event in Indonesia, followed by the inauguration. And hopefully, Vidi, Christina, Mohammed, and I will be there in our uniforms. And there is Bali, pardon me. All right, there will be a gold-backed global currency. It's not mandatory, but M1 has a suitcase of a sample of every authentic currency in the world. This is to test, to avoid counterfeit practices. So we are watching history. We are sacred witnesses to history unfolding. And I say this every week. Things are not getting worse, they're getting uncovered. We must hold each other tight and continue to pull back the veil and see each other as we truly are. What an amazing feeling to know that we're doing what I have always known to be true, helping others, bringing peace to the world, and becoming so much more. This is not a teaching. It is you who have come from your origin, bringing your gifts to the world of magic and miracles, established and maintained by each and every one of you. This is the opening of a new world that has been developed by all humanity over many thousands of years. And it now appears as if by magic out of absolutely nowhere to begin its life of reality in every part of the universe. You have stepped into the new flow, and there is a totally new perspective of life itself waiting to welcome you to the next reality of the application of magic and miracles in the physical world. The power of each and every human entity will increase enormously in a very short period of time, and the presence of advanced intelligence will be met by this power to enable the world to rise above all negativity and develop a harmony that has never been known before. No rules, no methods, and everything works every time. All this and much more will be your companion as you step forward and open more and more channels into the unknown. Remember, I said 11 is the doorway? Well, I went to Youngsite and I was so excited because I put doorway in the search and I came up with doorway to new dimensions. If you consider your life and everything in it, you will find nothing but thought and images that are developed from some comparison or memory that holds a place somewhere in your being. If you connect with nature, there is an experience of your life that holds true even when your considerations run wild. Nature and everything in it forms the flow that is needed to complete your world and take you beyond all considerations, no matter how good they may be. This is the simplicity that we have at our fingertips to surpass all considerations and experience the healing and balancing effect of the world around us. The more we open channels to the unknown, particularly through the trees, the closer we get to the doorways that open into dimensions that are beyond the teachings of the society, but totally familiar to the mystical part of our own personality. November 11th, 2015. In a similar way to talking, you are now ready to communicate with the endless energies of the universe. This is not new, but like speaking, you become more familiar with one language and have no idea of what is being said in another. The language of the universe has been available to you for a long time, and the elegant feeling that is produced will surpass all difficulties for everyone. Listen to what is in the wind and see what is on the horizon, and you will sail in a direction that takes you to a perfect future. This is known by all, but nothing comes to the mind of the person who is consumed by chatter and the circular actions of everyday life. You are about to enter a new world once again, and from where you are, there is no description. This will continue to happen as you move through the adventures of the universe and beyond. The adventure path is not linear, and one thing does not lead to another. One reality appears, and then it quickly disappears to reveal another. Enjoy the new movement and stay connected. And this title absolutely thrilled me. Simplicity, the ultimate high-level language. Let us begin with something simple and see where it leads. There are so many complex variables in life, and simplicity is sometimes hidden within that complexity. If you look at the world and try to decipher what is the true focus of your moment, you will find that you are torn between so many different things that you are unable to determine what deserves your attention. If you examine simplicity, you will see that whatever you are attracted to will actually become your immediate focus. And there is no question as to what that is, because it is determined by you. If you start to look for what you are attracted to, you will force yourself into confusion and find no answer that is particularly suitable. All this takes us to where we need to be, and that is in the world where simplicity reigns and no decisions are necessary. If we look further, we can see that the scope of simplicity is much more than meets the eye. All possible difficulties must be ignored if we are to discover the power of simplicity, and our intent to produce what looks like the impossible in the form of magic and miracles must be fully present. At this point, we can only progress towards the real power of simplicity in the world of magic and miracles. If we are willing to step into a totally new world without rules and standards that we are presently experiencing, but at this point, all bets are off, and the sky is the limit. In every way you can imagine, everything is possible. And you must be willing to step forward and let it happen without thought or reasoning. I can't miss this part. The key to what is being revealed is the nature of humanity is such that it can operate at a much higher level through its hidden capability to work with the simplest instruction set possible. In all cases, the outcome from any simple action or intention exceeds that of a complex combination of many logical actions. The greatest things that happen in everyone's life seem to come out of nowhere, in an unplanned manner, at an unknown time, and we are now able to access these amazing events by purposely harvesting the effects of simplicity and the mysterious world of magic and miracles. And I didn't remove paper clips. Okay. Okay. The new focus is something that needs to be presented gradually, as it is so new that there is little in the past that can be used to even establish a building block for what you are looking at. With the application of simplicity and the action of spirit, there is a recognition system that will take on what is being presented. There is no need to struggle over a name for anything because the meaning will not meet any form of recognition. You are stepping beyond the unknown to the uncharted part of humanity that has never been available until now. As you can see, the initial reaction to what we are presenting is to look for more information. That sounds like me when I first met Robert. There is no more information because you are about to create something that has never existed in the physical plane or any of the dimensions associated with your world. The power of simplicity will come into play, and the complete picture that you need will appear in your field without any indication of what it actually is, relative to your present awareness. You must be willing to change your awareness to such an extent that your present awareness can fade into the background and be reformed in a completely new way. Last week, I so enjoyed delving into the subject of healing. And it occurred to me that I had found these incredible CDs hidden in a closet. Believe it or not, this was an all-day retreat at a very dear friend's house in, I forgot where it is, but outside of San Francisco. And the year 2011. And the title of the CDs that I never had a chance to listen to before last Sunday is called Self-Healing. I listened to them on Monday. I got so excited that I started taking notes feverishly. And then on Tuesday morning, I said, Robert, can we have Dragon translate this? And he did the impossible. He turned CDs into an MP3, which he says hasn't been done, but he did it. And then, of course, what came out was Dragon Talk. So that was a little intense, but it was worth it. And here's an excerpt. And there is a whole lot more, but here's the excerpt that I prepared for you for today. Once again, there is a responsibility for every miracle. By the way, the room was packed. I remember people sitting on the stairs and up on the balcony. And there was much laughter. And most times we're asking for a miracle instead of knowing the extent of the capability of our body, providing we get out of the road. The capability is enormous to the extent where the first thing, now this is Robert speaking, where the first thing I do if someone has a trauma is to anesthetize them so that they don't have an effect on the body, so that we don't interfere and the body gets better and has a better chance of surviving. Because our reaction is so strong and so solid that it sometimes causes your body difficulties, and we talk about how we're supposed to let go of everything so that our body, mind, or our systems will work okay. You are just taking away all the tools and all the bits and pieces that your body needs to actually reconstruct itself. Now, don't give away anything, but don't give up anything. Know the capability of your body and be patient. That will cause automatic self-healing in ways that you cannot determine. Many times, if you are sore, it's something else that needs to be repaired. It may be outside your system, and then all of a sudden, that will disappear because something else has been attended to, and your body knows exactly what it's doing. If you want to test this, sit with the trees for a while and do nothing, absolutely nothing. Give yourself the opportunity to do nothing and have the time to allow the interconnection that happens with the trees to actually see past your barriers. Once they see past the barriers, your body will go into action and start to regenerate itself. So it won't be just a small thing you get. We never get half a miracle. We never get a package that's only got one thing in it. We are a package that's got everything in it, so you can look forward to feeling as young as you like and watch the body follow it. It's like looking at the trees. If you focus, you'll see the first tree, and also the leaves are clear, and you won't see the ones in the background as clear. But if you just sit there for a bit and let the image come to you, you'll notice that it doesn't matter how far away the trees are. They're in perfect focus, just as the ones up close, because the capability of this supercomputer is far beyond what we have tried to imagine. It has been given the vehicle to match our needs and to match the being that we are, so we can imagine. I'm going to do that again. It has been given the vehicle to match our needs and to match the being that we are. So could you imagine your body not being up to supporting that divine being that we have proven is everywhere and that is totally connected to everything? And it's only concerned about that absolute and total infinite trust. It has been proven that everything else disappears as soon as you talk about infinite trust. It has a signature that takes you to where you had never imagined you could possibly go. So in the infinite trust, your body will take on a path that you have never imagined. It will just drop everything away without any damage, without any reaction, without you even knowing what's going on, except you feel a little bit disoriented. And as that happens, if you can look forward to that youth that you can feel deep inside you, it will start to show. And you can feel the energy that comes from the youth starting in your base and working its way up your body as we talk about it. That's what happens to young children. That's how they generate. That's how they grow. And when that is active, you can't be anything else but young. Patience is essential. Feel youth within you, but don't look for it. Use it, be it, and don't be disappointed about what the world feeds back to you. For so many years, we had so many things sold to us to tell us if you do this, this will happen. Don't look at what is in the mirror. Look at what's in the heart. And you'll know you can do anything instantly. Our purpose here today is to elevate that to way beyond the mind. And as I worked with it slightly here and there, you'll feel it lifting out of this field. And the further it goes out of your field, the better, because then it's growing automatically. It has no sense except a beautiful feeling of regeneration with no focus on it. Just to enjoy the absolute enjoyment is what you know you were promised. So in that infinite trust, you'll feel it. Thank you, Robert. That was 7 years ago. Where are all the people that were in that room? We haven't seen them. But it gives me such joy to share this with you today. And there's more. There's a whole lot more. We talk about emotions because we don't know what the trillions of inputs are that we call emotions. But if you wait that fraction of a second so that you're not living in reaction, you'll find out what the emotions are. You'll find out what every signal is. You'll find out that you know all about the trillions of signals that come in and out of your being every minute. And the fact that you are fully aware of who's around you, what's happening, what you're attracting into your life is something that you should be aware of because it's always happening in the background. But as we go along, that won't be the background anymore. That will be the foreground. Everything you feel and you know will fill your life as it is now so that you can walk a different way, talk a different way, maintain your being without actually interfering, allow your majestic self to support the nourishment that your body needs, and know that the magic and the miracles can appear within you or with anybody else. But most of all, if they don't appear within you, you won't be able to transmit it to someone else. And that is why we're here. Open your eyes and see the wondrous part of nature that presents itself when you broaden your view and allow the hidden energies to take their effect. There is more than meets the eye. An enhanced picture is presented through your vision and the special connection you have with nature. The action of your mind changes and thought seems to take on a new direction because of its interaction with nature. This intimate connection is the most rewarding and healing sensation that can be taken in by the human body and fed directly to the core of your being. Every time you open the channels to another world, you are balancing the fields and allowing for future interaction between civilizations. The messages that come to you are the result of your transmission, and your messages in other worlds are just as important as their messages to you. The intense and elevated field of authority that you transmit presents an uplifting field for other worlds and an opening of dimensions that are needed for everyone in the universe. Look ahead and listen to the future as you live a life of magic and miracles in the totally random fields of the earth and its celestial partners. The dance and the music will take you away from the troubled world and hold you there forever. There is no need for you to change anything, but there is a need for you to observe the change so that it may be solid in physical reality. Every person will experience this change, and each one will observe something different that will add to the matrix and develop the complex reality necessary to provide simplicity in everyone's life. Relax and enjoy the calmness of the flow as it massages your body and allows you to perform perfectly in your role in the physical world. This is the time to rejoice your new beginning, where there are no failures and there are prosperous outcomes, no matter what action is taken. The progress in the world of magic and miracles is now seen clearly in the world, and the need to understand in the old way has diminished to the extent that freedom can actually be felt in the air. The limitless nature of what is ahead can be felt freely flowing around everyone. And although there are major efforts to delay the process or the progress, it still continues and cannot be stopped by anyone. The harmony and ultimate power of every being is presenting an invisible flow that uplifts everything and places it in a position that cannot be disturbed by any of the normal interferences in the world. Listen and see from another place and remain open to whatever presents itself. This will maintain your capability and will bring the hidden mysteries of the world to life. And I'm going to take a little skip, and I have a surprise for you, for all of you, because no one has heard this before. Robert wrote yesterday, and I decided that I would share it with all of you on the broadcast. So here is the brand new writing. And I love the first sentence. This is the beginning of a new series of discussions that will open the way to living at a different level and at a different pace to that of today's average expectation. There is a new factor that has not yet been introduced fully into society, and it is as simple as everything else, but much more complex to find than the brain is willing to stretch towards. The complexity is in the fact that humanity as a whole is capable of accessing and using the most subtle energies and forces from nowhere when necessary, with no effort at all, and no idea of how this fits into everyday life. The simplicity is that it happens, and it is within every person's reach if it is included as part of their normal life. If we look at the complexity, we find ourselves in the middle of a million questions that request details that are beyond our capacity as a functioning logical entity. The human brain cannot function in logical mode and answer questions that generate more questions. It can, however, operate in random mode and handle everything in the background, just as your microprocessor does in your computer. The difference is that your system is capable of working with life itself, not the details about life. You are therefore dealing with real things rather than the details. In other words, you are dealing with apples and oranges that are not yet on the tree. There is no way of relating a description or a number to something that has not yet reached the physical form where it can be recognized and counted. We, as part of the human entity, are connected to the most complex interactions of life itself, both at a personal and universal level. And just like walking, we do it at an unconscious level through channels and functions that are almost unknown in the logical functions of our brain. If you add this awareness to your logical brain, it will be able to track the brilliance of your own adventure without having to interfere. The process of making everything logical will fall into the background, and simplicity will take over your life. Once we are in a position where we can track our own brilliance, we will become familiar with various functions that have never been revealed to us in any form or experience. These functions are as simple as the messages we send when we decide to walk. There is no definition or description available because each message is always different. Every movement of our body is different every time, as it takes in so many variables that are beyond the scope of our logical measuring systems. Once you see that everything is different every time, and a multitude of special signals are happening all at once, you will see beyond the logical function of the brain. And you will understand the real function of your being and its controlling system called simplicity. The power of simplicity is beyond any form of measurement and cannot be captured or separated into one function or another. This is the true nature of your being, and its power is totally integrated into life by the power and capability of simplicity. As such, there is no limit to what you can influence and enhance if you allow that possibility to enter your life. Thank you for joining me. It has been a wonderful, wonderful experience that we share. I wish you perfect life, perfect health, and a magic future. Thank you.